Hello everyone. The topic that we are going to discuss today is article writing. Now, what are articles? Now, articles, we come across articles every day when we read newspaper or when we read magazines, when we read different kind of books. We find articles there. Now, articles exactly is a piece of writing, or you can say it's printed in magazines or books or newspapers. So, it is a written piece of information which is used for printing in newspapers or magazines, right? So, what exactly is an article? An article is a piece of writing which we usually find printed in magazines or newspapers. So in newspapers, you find newspaper reports that is also in the form of article, or sometimes there are people those who write articles on certain issues that the country is dealing with. Or in magazines also you see different articles. There is a slight difference between the articles that are published in magazines or in newspapers, because in newspapers you find them every day. So there's a slight change in the format. So I'll let you know how it is. So let's first find out the format of an article. So how to write and proceed for an article. First of all, let's find out the format. Say if this is your page, in the center of the page, in the center when you are writing, that heading should be here. Now when you say heading, now heading can be you can say it should not be or might not be complete sentence again. 3 to 4 words, do not elaborate it too much, or it should not be very long so that the heading appears as if it is a report. It should remain as heading, right? So heading is the first thing that comes. Then comes the byline. Now byline can also be put at different places. Now byline is actually the name of the person who has written the article. So the name, and in case of newspaper reports, byline also consists of the date, and also the place. This is in case of newspaper reports. Rest, if you find a common byline, or normally when you find any article in magazines, the name of the person is given. So it can be on the right hand side, or it can be here on the left hand side, or it can also be at the end of the article. So there are 3 places where you can write the byline. Means you have a choice, either you can write it here or here or here. Not at all the places, only at one place. Wherever you choose to write, you can write the byline. Then comes the content. Now content also has different parts. First is the opening or introductory paragraph, and then you develop the thought, and then you start writing and develop the thought, you're giving facts and figures, and then ultimately you end by giving a conclusion to it or a solution to a problem, right? So this is actually the format. There's nothing much to be discussed here, because there are only two things that are to be kept in mind. One is heading, another is byline. So byline can be used at any place, so wherever you feel like, at 3 places as I told you, right? Now let's find out some tips for writing articles, for writing effective articles. How one can write effective articles using these tips. Now, tips to write an effective article. Now, for that, tip number 1. It's regarding the heading, right? So, tip number 1 says the heading. Now, for the heading, the first thing that one should keep in mind, first letter of every word should be capital. For example, if it is pollution, a menace. Now here P is capital, A is capital, M is capital, right? So when you put a heading, one should always remember first letter of every word should be capital. Then second thing about the heading that one should always keep in mind, that it should be eye-catching. Eye-catching means it quickly grabs the attention of a person that, okay, this must be something interesting to read. So this should be eye-catching. Then third thing that one should keep in mind regarding the heading is that it should give a crisp idea. Of the theme, of the central theme, means what you are actually talking about. So it should give an idea. For example, if you see this heading that I have given here, pollution a menace, that means you get an idea that you are talking about the problem of pollution. So it gives a clear idea, clear and crisp idea of the theme that you are writing about, right? Now tip number 2, if you keep these 3 things in mind regarding the heading, it would be means fine. Now do not elaborate your heading too much. That is one more point that you can include in it. Now tip number 2, it's regarding the byline. Now byline is essential, that is there, that is a must. One should have it there. Then it comprises of name of the author or the writer, name of the writer of the article, right? The person who has written the article, the person's name should be mentioned. Then in case of newspaper reports, that should also include date and place from where the article is written. So, name in case of all the articles that you write. If it is a newspaper article, put date and place. Right? Now, after byline, the next step, tip number 3, goes for introductory paragraph. Introductory paragraph, or you can also call it as the opening of an article. So, introductory paragraph or opening of an article means how one should start the article. For that, first of all, it is a must, one should remember that. Then, again, you need certain things in this. Right? Now, the first thing that you need is that it should catch attention. Right? Then, means the paragraph should open in such a way that it sounds quite interesting. So, when one starts reading, the person should feel that yes, I am connected to this problem, or I am connected to this thing, and I need to read about it. So, the person should become curious once he or she reads the beginning of the paragraph. Then, the next thing that comes is should create interest. As I told you, that one should feel that yes, I should read it. So, it should create interest in the reader. The reader should feel interested in reading it. Then comes clear and precise language. Again, clear and precise language here refers to, again, to the point language. It should be clear. Then, last but not the least, it should be planned. And once you start writing, the opening paragraph will give you a hint how to plan it further. So, these 4 things should be kept in mind. It should catch attention. It should create interest. It should have clear and precise language. Moreover, it should be planned. Now, apart from these 3 tips, there are some more that I would like to give you. So, let's move on further for tip number 4. And this is to develop the content. Now, how one can develop the content? One starts developing the content by quoting examples, or by quoting data, by quoting some figures into it. So, one can use facts. One can also use examples and some logical agreements. Right? So, facts, examples and logical agreements. So, develop the content. One should use the facts, one should use the examples, and then logical agreements. Right? So, after this, once you start giving facts, examples or logical agreements, that means you are giving an insight to the problem or whatever you want to discuss about. You are giving an idea, an overview of that problem. Right? So, after that, in more simple language, I would say, develop the content would be, here you would be sharing with the person the kinds, or you can say how that problem causes different other problems, right? How or what are the causes of that problem. So we discuss it here if we are writing about a problem that our country is facing or someone is facing. So this is what and how we develop the content. The next step that comes, or the next tip that one can have, is tip number 5, is that you develop the content using compare and contrast technique. Now what is this compare and contrast technique? Right? Now this compare and contrast technique is when you give your views to justify, when you give your point and justify your viewpoint. So giving point of views, or examples to justify your viewpoint, right? So when you do such things, you are actually using compare and contrast technique by giving examples and then comparing it with the problem, and then giving some examples and justifying what you want to say in that particular paragraph, right? Then comes tip number 6. It's how you conclude. Conclude, that is the conclusion. Now in conclusion, what one should tell is the gist of what you have discussed earlier, and then you can give suggestions in it. So it is basically summing up your views, right? And then if you want to offer some suggestions, or solutions, right? Offer suggestions or solutions to improve things. So that you can write here in the conclusion. That means the concluding paragraph should have the summing up of your views, and it should also have suggestions or some advice if you have, some solutions if you have, to improve that problem. Now, this was tip number 6. The next tip that we have is tip number 7. What one should not do. Now, one should not elaborate, or means they should not be stretched out on irrelevant things. So once we start writing, one should not be too descriptive. One should not be too descriptive about something that is irrelevant. Right? So do not elaborate on irrelevant things or things that are less important for that paragraph. Do not give too much of time, your words and your lines on it. Right? Just point it out and that leave it there. Right? Then comes the last step. Follow the format and also the word limit. Right? So word limit, if it is given, one should follow that. So if given, If given, one should follow the word limit as well. So usually articles have different lengths. They can be very small, they can be very long. So that depends how you are writing. But if you are given a word limit that you have to write in 100 to 150 words, so you have to limit yourself to that, right? So this is what we can do, and these are few tips that one should always keep in mind apart from the coda. I'm referring to you again and again because this goes for all the writing skills. Now, C stands for collect your ideas. So first collect your ideas in your mind or pen them down somewhere. Whatever comes to your mind, write it down. Then organize them. Number them 1, 2, 3, 4. Then make a rough draft. Make a first draft of it. Right? So D for draft. E, edit it. If there is any mistake you find, you can edit that. Or if you feel that you have not organized it properly, do it. Then write the fair one and revise it. So this is what coda means, and this should always be kept in mind when you are attempting any question of writing skills. Thank you.